I have a video for you. It's very extreme bittersweet. You'll find out what I mean by that in the next minute. So this is a crazy confessions of a Uber Lyft driver, and I haven't done one of these videos in probably at least a couple of years, but after this ride I just had, it was a great ride, just extreme bittersweet. So here it goes. Pick them up, a couple of gentlemen, older, very distinguished looking, taking them to the airport. So I'm like, so where are you guys headed to? They said New Orleans. And I'm like, oh, I love New Orleans. Wow, cool. And one of the guys is like, their names is Greg and Perry. So Perry, they're brothers. Perry says, yep, going down there to celebrate my exoneration. I was wrongfully convicted and spent 31 years in prison. And my heart sank. My breath was taken away when I heard that. I'm like, oh my God. So does the state owe you reparations for this? And he says, well, this was done in the state of Oklahoma, so we're in the process of trying to find out right now, and it's amazing. They admitted wrongdoing after taking 31 years of my life away, and they make you jump through all these hoops anyway just to find out if you're even going to get any reparations. So I avoided saying things like, oh, that's awful, that's terrible. It was just like, holy shit, that's unbelievable, reparations. And so once he told me they're making him go through all these hoops after they admitted their wrongdoing and took 31 years of his life away from him, his younger years, I'm like, they owe you millions. And there should just be a thing, no hoops, just sign here and you get millions. And you should never ever have to pay taxes again, ever, for obvious reasons. And the two brothers are like, you know, Tom, I really like the way you think. I'm like, you're welcome. It's just obvious. I'd much rather my tax dollars went to reparations towards somebody that we as a collective society took 31 years away from of his life in his younger years. I would much rather tax money went to that than just giving it away to the biggest business interest in the world. That makes no sense. And they don't have any hoops to jump through. But this guy, they robbed him of maybe half his life, maybe a third of his life if he lives to be in his 90s. And they're making him jump through hoops to get, who knows, if anything, I don't know. And he's still going to have to pay taxes the rest of his life no matter what. That's unavoidable. Unless you're a big multinational corporation, then there's a lot of those that don't pay any at all. But isn't that mind-blowing? So if somebody said something like that to you, friends, what would your response be? Would you avoid saying things like, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, or would you just pretty much have the same kind of response I did, or ask them questions that elicit more of a positive response? So like, now that you're free, what are you going to do? That sort of thing. I did, on one hand, I was towards that positive response framing, but at the same time, I was also recognizing that's unbelievable, but I didn't use words like terrible and awful because I wanted to be sensitive to the guy, you know? And it was a great ride, excellent conversations there. And he told me I didn't ask for information, he volunteered whatever he was going to, and I just sort of let that happen and was very actively listening. But he said he had to pretend like this was life's way of testing his patience. The dude has to have the patience of a saint, more like beyond the patience of a saint. I honestly don't know if I could handle that, if I could handle any time in prison, especially on a wrongful conviction. And that also makes me think, how many others are in jail right now that are still in jail, still not exonerated? How many people die in prison never having their name cleared? We do know there's some instances where some people's names have been cleared after they passed away. So yeah, great, their names are cleared now, but their life is gone, they're passed away already. And then some people, they find out while they're still living. Some people pretty soon. Some people when half their life is gone. Like this guy, he's an old man now. But you know what? For his age, I don't know how old he is. I didn't ask. He didn't volunteer that. I'm gonna guess he's in his 60s, I'd say. So I said, you know, sir, you look healthy, you look good, you look young. You got a lot of years left to make up for it. Just celebrate and have the best time of your life. And I bet that with his very unique perspective, it sounded like to me that's exactly what he plans to do. I mean, they're on their way to New Orleans right now. They're going to live it up. They said they're just going to party. They're going to have fun. And God bless them, man. Even the way the dude looked physically, he's a very distinguished looking older gentleman with one of those long western mustaches, and the tips are kind of white now, and he's got on really cool silver like jewelry. He reminds me of like an old western black cowboy. Just a really cool, distinguished look to himself. Really great energy. Both of the brothers, Greg and Perry, really, really great energy. Perry was the one who was wrongfully convicted, and they're going down there to celebrate life and being free. Man, and all these things I'm thinking of, 31 years. Think of the technology advancement that this guy has missed. I mean, smartphones weren't even a thing yet. Not only smartphones are a thing now, but those have come an extreme long way. Internet, high-speed access. 31 years ago, well, it wasn't even, we didn't even have internet yet. We didn't even have dial-up. Wow, and the physical landscape of everything, how things have really sprawled out, the development, that just blows my mind. It is, so that's the video. All those questions and all those things to think about, and how you respond when you hear news like that, and you want to be sensitive to the person. And you know what? It all felt good. It all felt right. Everything that came out of my mouth, there were no awkward moments or anything like that. So I'm proud of myself. And they had a great ride. It was a good first leg of their trip. Now begins the second leg, the airplane ride, and then the third leg. I guess that would be the Uber ride from the airport, New Orleans, to their hotel, and then they can start. Well, they've already started living it up. They were really enjoying themselves in my car. It was cool. I was honored to give them a ride. And man, I wish that guy the best. I hope he lives a long, happy, healthy life, and he just does exactly what he wants. And I hope he gets millions of reparations. So how many millions do you think he should get, friends? How much money do you think for 31 years and his younger years, obviously, because he's older now? I say at least 3 million. So that's $1 million per decade. And that might even be on the low side, really. But at least $3 million, and he should never have to pay taxes again. That's what I think. And also we need to reform our criminal justice system. I know it's never going to be perfect because it's by humans, but there should be, with stories like this, there should be a huge sense of urgency to do a better job at getting it right. Another thing I think about is the death penalty. We know about 4% of the time we get it wrong. 4% of the time, and sometimes we don't figure it out until after the fact. And that's irrevocable completely. I mean, this guy can't get back 31 years of his life, but at least he's got years ahead of him. When somebody's been executed by the state, there is no more years left. It's over. It's done. So knowing that, that is the one and only reason I'm against the death penalty. If there was some magic way we could get it right 100% of the time, which is never going to happen, you know, I might be in favor of it in the most extreme instances, but because we don't get it right 100% of the time, abolish the death penalty, man. Just get rid of it. And as far as imprisonment for life, we need to do a better job at getting it right more frequently than we do. Okay, hashtag freedom, hashtag, I don't know where I was going with that. Hashtag freedom, hashtag live your life without it negatively impacting other people. And also, when you interact with other people out there, you don't know what they're going through, man. You just don't know. And there's a lot of ways people respond to what they're going through that is also not justifiable. So keep that in mind too. There's a balance. This guy in particular, you would never know he was in jail for 31 years. He just had the most calming, pleasant energy about himself. It was just a beautiful ride, very bittersweet. Probably more sweet than bitter now at this point, right? Okay, guys, make it a great day. I'd love your feedback. 2 cents you want to add. How much money should this guy get? And what would you say to a bomb like that somebody drops in front of you?